can't get no weed in Wayne. You can't get no weed in Wayne. You can't get no weed in Wayne. I should just put that to some music. Want to sing along with me? Well, you can't get no weed here. 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 Keep your cancer home, dear. You can't get no weed. Barnegat, Berkeley, Bridgeton, Bridgewater, Brigantine, Callstadt, Chatham, Clifton, Cranberry, East Rutherford, Elmwood Park, Emerson, Fairhaven, Freehold, Garfield, Hasbrook Heights, Hawthorne, Lavalley, Lodi, Jamesburg, Hazlitt, Mawa. You can't get no weed here. 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 Keep your cancer home, dear. You can't get no weed. Manville, Mannington, Point Pleasant Beach, Hilton, Caldwell, Oakland, Oceanport, Ridgewood, Ringwood, Seaside Heights, Seagirt, Shrewsbury, Seacock, Surf City, Spotswood, Upper Freehold, Upper Saddle River Wall, and you can't get no weed here. 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 Keep your cancer home, dear. You can't get no weed. And Weehawken, West Caldwell, West Long Branch, Westwood, Wyckoff, Wycliffe, Lay, Palisades Park, Palisades Park. There's no wheelchair access in Palisades Park. Oh no, you can't get no weed here. 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 Keep your wheelchairs home, dear. You can't get no weed. Chester, Franklin Lakes, Harding, Middling Park, Mansfield, Old Bridge, Old Tapan, Ramsey, Danville, Avalon, Parsippany, Pleasantville, Saddlebrook, Brick, and Union City. You can't get no weed in Wayne. 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 Keep your cancer and your pain. You can't get no weed in Wayne. You can't get no weed in Wayne. You can't get no weed in Far Hills. You can't get no weed in Maurice River. You can't get no weed in Babylon. You can't get no weed in Atlantic Beach, Long Island Beach, Jersey Shore. You can get some weed in Bayonne, though. Good morning, everybody. We got a great show lined up for you today. We haven't started yet. I just felt like playing a little song for you. This is how we start the show, and I have to share my link with everybody. We're only on YouTube today, so I have to share this with Facebook, and it's been a kind of a nightmare. Just stuff isn't working. So now I got to go through the whole process of playing this song and then doing some producing. Yeah, you can't get no weed in Keansburg. Sure get them heroin, though. You can get that heroin and that methamphetamine in Keansburg. All right, I want to share this video. No, I don't want no. Oh, God. Okay. I'm sharing this to Lefty's page. Hello. Okay. And then from there, we share it to the groups. Sativa group. Boom. Sativa group. Boom. 501c3 group. Done. Psychedelic wheelchair amalgamate. Okay, so I talked to Liberty Pharmacy this morning. I got some news about that. We got a huge party coming up on Tuesday. Taco Tuesday will never be the same after Tuesday. We're going to have Bob Watonic calling in and Angela from Cerebral's calling you. So stick around. We are going to have an amazing show. I am going to do some dabs here, get myself ready. I'm not even dabbed out yet. I'm not even ready for you guys. So please get ready for me, and I'm going to get ready for you. Let's do this together. Who's calling me? Hello. Yeah, so we have some news about Liberty Pharmacy in Bayonne. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. That's going to be really good news. I'm excited. I'm excited for El Rampador in Bayonne. El Rampador is making waves and getting awareness for the issues in Bayonne, and I think that's really good. Making friends, too. We actually made a couple of friends. We didn't start off as friends. We started off as, I don't know what you'd call it, but it didn't start off nice. But then it got nice. I think once they realize that we're not out to actually do anything stupid, we're just out to create awareness and help people. A lot of people think we're out here making money. A lot of people think we go to these council meetings as part of the industry, like we're part of the cannabis industry. Some idiots actually believe that. They have no clue. They're clueless. They don't know who we are. And they think that we're a part of this cannabis industry, that we are going to these towns and getting paid to go to these towns. We're a 501c3. Do some research before you open your mouth and say we're part of the industry. We are actually not part of the industry. I'm against the cannabis, rich-owned cannabis industry. And you'll find out very soon that that's the truth. Believe me, I'm not part of the industry. I'm broke. I'm just as broke as you are. Nobody's paying me. As a matter of fact, I never took any money from anybody in the cannabis industry. I refused it. It was offered, and I refused it. So you can look that up, too. You can see I've never taken any money from the cannabis industry. Peanut butter breath. Let's roll that up. Yeah. Wow. Save some for me, bro. Peanut butter breath. Let's roll. Seth, where'd you get peanut butter breath? That must be that black market weed that I hear a lot about. I hear good things about the black market weed.
Back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, and you know it's mine. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll.
All right, this is embarrassing. $23.7 dabs. 23.7 dabs in a day. I did. 23.7 dabs. 23.7 dabs. Wow. 1,792 dabs since February. 23.7 dabs a day. I never knew that I'd be to the point in my life where my bong would talk to me and tell me how much I'm smoking. I don't know if you can see this, but my bong tells me how many dabs I do a day. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm kind of scaring myself here. 23.7 dabs a day. 23.7 dabs. 23.7 dabs. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is that normal? Well, try to keep up, boys and girls. Whoa! Who you wanna roll with, huh? Good morning, New Jersey. Welcome to the Cannabagger Show, where we make money for the industry. The money's just flying in. Yeah, we're building a cannabis industry on the backs of patients. Fun times. Get in line. Get in line with your wheelchairs. Back of the line in a wheelchair. Back of the line, buddy. If you're in a wheelchair, get in the back of the line because the dispensaries are full up and they don't have the strain that you need, and you are gonna be outpriced and taxed, and you can't afford your medicine. The government wants you to suffer because they don't care. Back of the line, wheelchair boy. Yeah, that's what it's like in New Jersey. Back of the line, boy. You in a wheelchair? Get back in the line. Oh, you got a cane? I'll try to keep up. You in a cane? All right, you try to keep up or else, no. I'm getting mine, though. I'm a recreational user. I'm getting mine. I can outrun that wheelchair and get the strain that I need. Oh, you can't see me running. You can't see me running. I got a green shirt on. I'm running. I'm a recreational patient running faster than a wheelchair to get my strain. I'm a recreational man, and I'm gonna get my weed. Keep your wheelchairs home. Keep your wheelchairs home. I'm a recreational person, and I'm gonna get mine. Keep your wheelchairs home. Yeah, that's what it's like in New Jersey now. They don't care about you. Nobody cares. And the people that do care get attacked. That's Jersey for you. The people that are actually out here helping others selflessly and not making any money are being called cannabaggers and making money. We're making money. We're a 501c3 with no money, but people think we're like making money. I can't with these people. I don't know who's more ignorant, these prohibitionist councils or some of these potheads. Some of you potheads are pretty ignorant, I gotta tell you. I don't get it. I don't know. I've seen it all. So we went to a bunch of councils. We did like 4 council meetings in one day. We went to Maurice River, went to Far Hills, we went to Wayne, and there was one guy here that really, really stuck out. It was just, I want you to see it too. It's just so funny. This guy here, his name was his Skip. And so I think Marina starts this clip off, and Marina talks, and I think this is the one where Marina made me cry. Marina, she's amazing. She started coming into these meetings for a while. She's been coming out for a while, but now she's really coming into her own and really starting to hit her stride with these meetings. She's been through a lot. She when she was a child, she lost her leg, and it was very traumatic, and she has PTSD over this experience. And then recently she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And so she comes to these council meetings, and she's amazing, and she made me cry a couple times already, and I think she has an effect on these councils, but she certainly didn't have an effect on Skip, that's for sure. Listen to this clip. You got to hear this. This is.
Mr. Yamansky, I'm sorry, Mayor. Can you tell me what town you reside in, please?
Oh, yes, forgive me.
I'm sorry.
I'm currently a New York resident.
This
right
is
over the border
Adam.
In the town of
Oh, I
Ramapo.
missed it. Hold on.
Pediatricians who are it's so much harder. Medical marijuana is
All right,
helping
here's
most of the times. Your parents weren't allowed to.
Here it is.
It's Marina.
Here we go.
I'm going to ask you to unmute, please. And you'll have 3 minutes as well. Marina, did you want to make a comment?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Marina Redmond. I live in Sayreville, New Jersey. I'd like to tell you about my journey with medical marijuana and how much it's helped me. And please table this. Just, listen. I suffered from anxiety between the ages of 1 and 4.5. I had to have a bunch of surgeries on my leg. Back then in the hospital, they did things a lot differently. Your parents weren't allowed to stay over. You were told to be a big girl. I was told this between 1 and 4.5. I had to have surgeries. Your parents weren't allowed to bring you in the surgical room. You had to be carried in there or wheeled in there. And it was just a horrible experience. You had everyone in masks telling you to be a big girl. It's going to be okay. And then, unfortunately, many years later, in 2017, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I lost 50 pounds in 3 weeks because I couldn't get my medicine. My dispensary is like 30 minutes away. I'm lucky I can get a ride there most of the times. But, people who can't, they use Access Link. Sometimes it doesn't go there. The nickname for Access Link is Access Stink. You also have Uber and Lyft. And sometimes they don't want to go there. And if you have a service dog, good luck, because all of a sudden they're allergic because they don't want dog hair in there. It's, medical marijuana has helped me out so much, like I was saying. It's just such a wonderful product. And I'm also wondering, if you do ban this, if the people in your town can sue you for making it so much harder for them to get their medicine. You have pharmacies in the town. You have all these
Pharmacies that sell synthetic marijuana.
different places. You have about 24 different types of doctors in your county. That prescribe medical marijuana. All different types. Family practices, infectious disease, internal medicines, a psychiatrist, emergency medicines, ophthalmology, general practice. And you even have pediatricians who are helping out their kids, their pediatric patients.
Children are getting cannabis in your
Giving
town.
them medical marijuana.
Children.
I do not understand why you'd want to hurt an adult or even a child.
Let's make their life more difficult.
Children are on this drug. Children are on this, not a drug, I'm sorry. Children are on this. And you're hurting them. You're making them suffer. Bad enough you're making the adults suffer. I don't understand what gets you guys to hurt an innocent child suffering when they're also on this and hurting cancer patients. I don't understand because, it's heartbreaking that you guys would do this to people.
Madam, you have around 30 seconds left, please.
Please don't make us suffer. I'm begging for myself. And there's people right now who cannot come on the Zoom meeting because they're so sick. They can't even lift their head. They're vomiting right now because of the medicines. They're so depressed. They're having PTSD. Some of them are about ready to, do harmful stuff to themselves. Please. Just please be nice. We just want our medicine.
Yeah,
we
please.
just want to live.
Be nice. Be nice.
We want to live happily.
Be nice.
And without pain.
It doesn't take much to be
Marina,
nice.
thank you very much for your comments. Would you be kind to give me your last name, please?
Redman, Rebmann.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Marina. We wish you all the best as well. All right.
Is this Skip now?
Dorothy, any new people for any comments?
If someone would like to make a comment, if they could raise their hand. If you're not able to do that,
Where's Skip?
then I'll just ask if you can try to unmute yourself.
Come on, Skip. Raise your hand. Let's hear it.
You said quite a few. Okay.
All
right.
I don't see any more people raising their hands or.
I would.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Mr. Schweister.
Lake Road. Everything that everybody said is very compelling and heartfelt.
But
Mr. King made a comment, and this is the only reason why I'm getting involved in this conversation with regard to how great it is in Colorado. Well, let me tell you something. I have a ranch in Colorado,
Jesus.
and I've had it for about 15 years.
God.
15 years ago, you could get workers that could actually do things. Now they're all high. If it could be regulated, it's truly medical. I know the benefits, scientific fact.
Wait, go back.
That could actually do things. Now they're all high. That could actually do things. Now they're all high.
I got it. That's a great sample.
I've had it for about 15 years.
That's a great sample.
15 years ago, you could get workers that could actually do things. Now they're all high. If it could be regulated, it's truly medical. I know the benefits, scientific fact. The problem is, just like the barbiturates, just like the over-the-counter, it gets out and it infects.
Just like the barbiturates, it gets out and it affects. That marijuana is gonna run rampant all over your town, infect everybody like zombies. Rah!
And I'm going to tell you something. I'm selling my ranch in Colorado.
I'm selling my ranch because I don't know how to do. I have bad hiring processes. I hire people that are incompetent, so I have to sell my ranch now because I made poor choices.
Because they're all Colorado maybes. They show up, they're high, they can't get the job done.
I'd have to be high around you too, bro. I'm sorry, but I would be so high around you. I could not be straight around you. I think they all know who you are, and they're like, okay, we need to have a sesh before we go work for Skip because we're working for Skip today. So we need to get a little extra stoned because this guy is just out of his mind.
Quality of work has gone to hell. It's medical marijuana. When it's regulated completely, I get it.
He gets it? He gets it?
But I don't think we're there. So I'm
That's overregulated.
I feel for you people that are needing it. I feel for you people who are growing it. I feel for the fact.
I feel for you. I want.
That, yes, okay, it's probably good paying jobs, but I've witnessed it myself. And it's not a good result. So that's all. Wish you guys luck, but
I gotta sell my ranch because I don't know how to hire good people. I've seen it.
Counsel, stick to your guns.
Thank you, Skip. All right. So with that, do I have a motion to?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to move out of public
Where's the
session
next?
and back into regular session.
Stick to your guns
second
and
that.
shoot the patients.
Where's the
in
next
face.
comment? I missed
Okay.
it.
Before the council.
I think it's 2:04.
Okay.
Hold on.
However frequently.
Saddened that you guys are hurting your townspeople.
We had a lot of issues with trees coming.
See the power lines above. Well,
2 more
did not
minutes.
unmute
He already
themselves, so
spoke for 20
Mr.
minutes.
Fisher would be the last.
All right, where's mine? I said
Hang on.
something.
My name is True. You did.
I was going to be a little bit more trying to encourage you to think about the future and what you can be, but you guys are stuck in the past. I just think that you made a mistake, and your citizens are going to pay for it because they're going to turn to alcohol, which is much more dangerous, horribly toxic, and addictive. That's going to be their pastime when they're in pain physically and spiritually. So good job on that leadership. No one commented on home grow, so I don't know if you're just happy with the corporate model that Murphy is putting in place, or what your opinion is. You just didn't even say anything on it.
Oh, it's coming.
So thank you for answering the one question I really had of you.
Oh,
that's all.
wait till you hear it. It gets worse.
Thank you.
Skip goes off.
Comments. All right. Anyone else, Dorothy?
Jeff triggers him, and,
Yes.
and I trigger him here.
Mr. Grimes, gonna have you unmute if you'd like, and you'll have 2 minutes as well, sir.
2
My
minutes.
name is Edward Lefty Grimes. I'm with SativaCross.org, 501c3 New Jersey, advocating for the handicapped, disabled, and cannabis people, cannabis patients. If you're hiring workers that are drunk or stoned or incompetent, that's on you. That's poor leadership. That's you're making bad choices. So it's funny, but
He's
it's
laughing.
true. In the Bible, it talks about anointing oil, the recipe for anointing oil in Exodus. There's a word.
We won't go into
Cannabis.
this too much because we all know
There's
the
actually a
story.
few translations
I want to
for
hear
that word.
Skip go off here.
It's trans-
Skip,
Oh, it's
where's Skipper?
Okay. We have Now, let me just go through people who've had their hands raised. I'm just trying to go.
So Skip gets like 8 minutes before, and then he says for out-of-towners should only get 1 minute. Can we do the out-of-towners as 1 minute, Mayor? That's what he says. Skip actually says that. Who is this guy, Skip?
Through the order. We have Jamie Van Sciver again. She has her hand raised. I'm going to ask her to unmute. And again, I apologize. We'll go for the full 3 minutes for anyone that wants to make a comment during the public comment section.
2 or 3?
Ms. Sciver,
I'm confused. Is it 2 or 3 now?
can you hear me? You're able to...
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
I am really disheartened by what you guys are doing. I don't understand why you want to continue to stigmatize natural medication. This isn't for fun. Nothing about it's fun, actually.
Nope.
It's expensive.
Yep.
It's stigmatized.
Yep.
People are ignorant about it.
Oh, yeah.
They make a lot of judgments without being knowledgeable about it.
Yes, Skip.
And there's so much information out there right now about what it's doing for seizure disorders and cancer and PTSD and depression. And just to know, like, that these are chronic conditions that these people are like genuinely suffering with. That it's so expensive to try to not go down a narcotic and pharmaceutical path. It's expensive to get into the program. It's expensive to see the doctor. It's expensive to get a recommendation, however frequently. That's not consistent. 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. That varies. $250 average for 6 months. That's like $500. Getting your card every couple of years, and that you haven't even entered the dispensary yet. And these are people, a lot of them, with medical conditions that are on disability. And I just feel that you're perpetuating and almost dictating a pharmaceutical path for these people. They're dying and suffering, and to make things more difficult and to make them really, what would they have access to? Like, my diagnosis is I could have anything I wanted, really, like narcotics and pain medications, and I could have them delivered to my door.
Yeah, covered by insurance.
And nobody would judge me for it.
Nope.
You wouldn't bat an eye.
Family friendly, ho ho.
And I think it's horrifying. I don't know where you guys think this path leads for people. When there's something natural that is proving in science, not opinions, not somebody hires lazy people and has bad judgment in Colorado. Facts, medical, like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's twitching.
The really cool thing about science.
You can't see it, but he's twitching right now.
Or not you believe in
He's
it.
twitching.
And I think you are embracing ignorance.
He just
I
got
think
triggered.
You should visit places. I think you should look at the residential values.
Skip just got triggered. He was twitching, and he's like, he can't wait to speak now. Now he's like, his head's going.
Increasing. There's not security issues. It's a medical.
Ms. Sciver, you've got about 15 more seconds.
Oh, God.
I ask you to think about someone with cancer, or I don't think people are able to embrace it and have the perception or empathy until it's someone that they love, that they can actually see
That's
suffering and dying that needs
right.
this, and what they have to go through to get it, and that you'll reconsider that you're making it just more red tape and hoops for dying and suffering people to go through, and it's terrible.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comments.
All right, who's next?
And we
We want to see
okay.
Skip. Skip, where are
Time
you?
if you wanted to unmute.
Express our opinions, and it was respectful. And I did not hear rhetoric that would be considered reefer madness and propaganda. So I do have hope for you that you will evolve and learn, and maybe in 20 years, or maybe after we're deceased in another generation, your potential will be realized. So I leave you with good tidings and wish you the best.
I love when he says
Thank
that.
you, Mr. King. We appreciate your comments and your involvement in the meeting tonight.
After we're dead, it'll be all right.
Hold on, Skip. Just a minute.
Skip.
Yes, Mr. Chester.
Why does Skip go again?
And I have a couple of minutes.
Why?
That's going to be at the direction of the mayor.
Why does he get time?
All right, Do we have any other questions, Dorothy, from anyone else?
I don't think so. I don't see any more hands
Why did
raised.
Skip
and
get 2
people
more
did not
minutes?
unmute
He already
themselves, so
spoke for 20
Mr.
minutes.
Schwitzer would be the last one to make a comment this evening. Allow him.
Be the last one to say. All right, Skip, let's make it
Oh,
quick.
God. Skip, really?
Okay. Number one, I am not one of the good old boys, and quite frankly,
That's a lie. You are obviously a good old boy. Just looking at you, I can see you're a good old boy.
Mr. King, you can ask each and every one of the council people. I'm not
You can ask all these good old boys if I'm a good old boy. Hey, good old boys, am I a good old boy? Oh.
one of the gang. Elections have consequences. We elected these people to represent us and to do our bidding, and they do it pretty darn well. Now, there are times we don't agree. There are times that we argue, and there are times that we get things done based on differences of opinion. And believe you me, I have a
No,
lot.
believe
of
me,
this
you.
council.
That's
Okay, listen, Lefty, I see you voicing. That's fine.
believe me, you.
But the point is,
It's believe me,
they
you.
do represent
I
us.
believe you, me.
We made the decision not to have that by having these people represent us. You people seem to it reminds
You
me
people!
of,
You hippies!
you argue that when a woman is raped, well, she really wanted it. Wait a
What?
minute. We're saying no. Don't you get it?
Wow.
Mr. Switzer, we're gonna
Mr. Switcher,
This is-
shut it down. Shut it down, Mr. Switcher. Shut it down now. Shut him down. Oh my God, he's talking about rape again. Get him off. He's on his. Oh my God, are you serious? What the hell? This is white privilege gone amok. That's what this is. This is your
He made
typical white
the decision
male,
not to
scary
have that by
white
having
male
these people
that we all are afraid of. This is him. This is the old white man that we are all afraid of. This is the guy who's been in charge for the last 400 years. This is why we have the problems in America that we do, because of this mentality right here.
represent us. You people seem to it reminds
You
me
people!
of
First with the you people, like we are not the same people. We are different people. So it's you people, you hippies, you black and brown people, you people that don't belong in our town, you squeegee people, you wheelchair people, you different people. You're not rich and white like me.
You hippies!
you argue that when a woman is raped, well, she really wanted it.
Wow. Where did his mind suddenly? What makes him? I just don't know where that came from. Does he think about this a lot? That seemed to be first and foremost in his mind, and I wonder why something like that in a conversation about cannabis at a council meeting where you're being recorded publicly, that you would actually expose yourself to be that ignorant and that misogynistic,
She really wanted it.
sexist.
Wait a minute. We're saying no. Don't you get it?
I don't.
Wow.
Mr. Switzer,
Wait, so
don't
They get it.
It's not
We elected
necessary.
these people.
other council
What
members.
the?
It's fine.
Believe me, you.
But the point is,
that makes me mad
believe
too. When people say "believe you me," that's such bad English. Believe you me. Believe you me. Hey, believe you me. No, it's believe me. You. Believe me. You. Get it right. It's stupid. Stupid. Ugh. I hate
do
that.
represent us.
I believe you, me.
We made the decision not to have that by having these people represent us. You people seem to it reminds
You
me
people!
of,
People.
You hippies!
You
argue that,
squeegee people.
When a woman is raped, well, she really wanted it. Wait
What?
a minute. We're saying no. She really wanted it. She really wanted it. She really wanted it. She really wanted it.
Wow. Have you ever heard that before? Have you been in that situation? I wonder. I don't know where that would come from, why that would be said at a council meeting, and what the hell? Really, just WTF.
Wait a minute.
There's
We're
no
saying
words.
No, don't you get it?
Wow.
Mr. Switzer, we're going to move on. This is a portion
Wow.
of the public to address the council.
Wow.
Debate other council
What
members.
the-
Well, I'm just saying.
What are you
I mean,
talking
members of
about?
the public, I understand your point, but I just think this is headed down.
Don't they get it?
It's not
We
necessary.
elected these people.
Yeah, no,
They're doing our bidding.
Don't they get it? Don't they get it?
Skip, you're 100% right, and I have to.
100% right. Wait, what is he 100% right on? What? Wait a minute. The mayor just agreed with what he just said. The mayor said he's 100% right. Let's go back and wait. The mayor agrees with this? I'm shocked that the mayor would agree with this.
She really wanted it.
The mayor agrees with that?
Don't you get it?
Wow.
Mr. Schweister, we're going to move on.
I'm confused.
To remind
You
you,
people. You hippies.
you argue that when a woman is raped, well, she really wanted it.
So the mayor agrees with that because right after that, the mayor says, I agree 100%. I can't with these people. You really agreed with Skip just now, Mr. Mayor. Did you hear what Skip said? Are you even paying attention to what this guy just said to you?
Wait a minute. We're saying
Are you so used to this Republican rhetoric that that's normal talk in a Republican area? Yeah, we talk about rape all the time, Republicans. It's a rape story. Yeah, all the time. Rape, Republican rape. Yeah, Republican. Yeah.
no, don't you get it?
Wow.
This is normal. This is normal talk. So it just went over his head.
Mr. Schweister, we're going to move on because this is a portion of the public to address the council.
Wow.
Shut Swister down. Shut him down. He's talking about that shit again. Shut him down.
Wow.
Debate other council
What
members.
the?
I'm just saying.
What are you talking about?
I understand your point, but I just think this is headed down.
Don't they get it?
It's not
We elected
necessary.
these people.
Yeah, no,
They're doing our bidding.
Skip, you're 100% right, and I have to say the truth. I am very enlightened and happy to hear that you like what we're doing. That's very good.
Listen, that's why I'm watching all the time.
All right.
I watch, I listen. You guys learn.
I don't like him watching and listening to me. He seems like I don't want you doing any voyeur stuff on me, dude.
Learn.
so funny.
We get along.
And we all move forward together. That's
Exactly. And this is something that the town doesn't want. Now, I had the one woman crying, oh, our people are sick and dying.
Mr. Schweister, I'm sorry.
This lady was crying. Ha ha ha! The sick and the dying are on here crying. Ha ha ha! Like, that's going to affect us. I'm a Republican. That doesn't affect me.
This is just commenting on other public comments. Let's stick to addressing the council on any issues you want to address the council, not addressing other public comments.
Just so you know, I'm playing the violin and Jamie's making the shame symbol with her fingers. Just so you know that that's happening. Here. Jamie's going like this. And I'm going like this. This guy is really out of his mind.
I think we're going in a different direction, Skip. So let's just get
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, Skip, you're like, woo! Wow, Skip. Wow. I don't know what to say to that, Skip, but I'm glad it's on public record.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion if we have no other outside public questions to move out of public comment.
Wow.
That was very scary. Wow. I thought I've heard it all at these council meetings, but apparently not. Wow, that was pretty ignorant. All right. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I don't have a. Oh, shoot. I'm not ready.
Hey, this is Angela Calandria.
Nope. I guess no call. All right.
I did make a phone call before to Liberty Pharmacy in Bayonne. Chris Almada is donating a beautiful 10-foot ramp to this pharmacy. This pharmacy has 3 steps, so people in wheelchairs cannot get into this pharmacy. I spoke to Michael. He's very nice yesterday. I spoke to the property manager today, and I'm going to speak to the owner later on today to get approval for this portable ramp that's going to help people get in and out of this pharmacy. A lot of these pharmacies say, we deliver. You don't need to come in. We deliver. So people in wheelchairs are denied the browsing experience. I personally like to browse. I like to see things that are available so I know what I want. And browsing is part of that experience. I love browsing. I'm a browser. I'm a very good browser. I like to browse. I browse all the time. So people in wheelchairs are being denied the opportunity to browse. It's kind of shocking. Hello, Angela. How are you?
Hey, Lefty, what's going on? Sorry, I missed your call.
That's
Mom
okay.
Pops. I was feeding the baby.
How do you spell your last name? Colandrea?
Yep, that's right.
I'm trying to get it right, so I put it up on the screen here. Okay. Okay.
Italian problems, all the vowels.
I know. I get it.
How are you?
Good. I'm doing
Good
awesome.
to hear your voice, my man.
I know. You've been so busy. I just saw you up in Maine.
Oh, my goodness. Maine was awesome. Going up there for reciprocity and being able to shop and use the card. Their program is definitely a lot more about like local community and supporting the local grower and not, really keeping that corporate cannabis out. So that was really awesome because I'm all about our Jersey people. So I want our community here to be just the same.
Yeah.
So that was dope. That was really dope. And I'm excited to see everybody this week on Tuesday. Very pumped.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. I'm so, so excited to be out there and see everybody and rally with the people that matter the most.
The patients, the people that they're building this industry on.
And, and the more that, I'm in the industry and, my fire is more passionate, it's all about the patients. And what makes me upset is that when people think about a patient, they think that you have to look sick, so to speak, or be terminally ill. And there's so much depth to health. People forget that. And especially the people that are judging our community. You can replace simple medicines in your cabinet, such as Advil and things that we're using for basic pain with cannabis. And that in itself extends your life. So think about incorporating it more into a deeper holistic approach for everything that you can do in your life. That's all right, Lefty. We're going to change their minds.
It just amazes me that towns are banning medicine for people. They're banning medical cannabis. I don't get it.
I don't understand either. Meanwhile, you have towns that have, Walgreens and CVS and people that are leaving their pills on the side of the road and, addicts picking them up and they're getting calls for overdoses and this and that. But we're still going to argue that medical cannabis is a drug. You know what I mean? It's really crazy. And the fact that when you go and you speak and you show these facts and these statistics of the changes that medical cannabis brings, and a town can still say, no, we don't want to help our people, the people that live in this community that pay taxes here. That's gross.
They're worried about the health and welfare of their community, but not the health and welfare of people in wheelchairs and people that are sick and suffering. Like, wait, hello?
Yeah, it's a left bar conversation. On Black and White, they try to say that they care about the people, but they really don't care about the handicapped, nor do they go the extra mile for the people in their communities to make it better. They really don't. And now that we voted, and said absolutely yes, cannabis is here in New Jersey, over 2 million people voted. I feel like more so even now that where the patients and the politics are meeting, it's a brick wall. We're really having a hard time still remembering with legalization here, the patients come first. And not for nothing, home grow should have already been on there. Now, this is pathetic that New York's bill compared to ours.
Yeah, they can
grow. Home grow?
They grow it for fun. They grow it for kicks over there.
That's crazy. And I've spoke about this with the girls on our show. I'm a big, obviously, cannabis advocate. I can't grow for shit. I'm interested in it. I would love to do it, but I don't have the capability. Now, there are patients and people that have the capability to be able to grow their medicine and nurture it and make it happen. But what the industry above us is blocking us and failing to realize, farmers markets thrive. People go to the farmers market and buy their tomatoes. People will still buy from the cannabis industry. They think that people and patients are going to grow their own medicine and they're not going to go to the dispensary and, purchase anymore, which is asinine. And clearly they're making it about the patient, making it about the people, not the patients and the money, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Everybody should be able to grow a plant in their house, point blank, period. It's a plant. Why are we regulating a plant?
Shocking.
Yeah, well, I feel like the more that, this industry evolves and it comes over to our way and we're moving, East Coast, it's shocking. The prohibition it's here. It's here. And patients, are still being pulled over with their meds. I know a girl that had an eighth on her. She was up past Boomtown. In her jar that she had gotten from Verano Brands, she had a pipe and a rolling tray in her center console. Now, it wasn't even out for the police officer to see. She got nervous. She didn't follow the script. It's what happens. Searched her car and her person. She also works at a dispensary. And she was fine. Got a ticket and now has to go to court. Of course, it's going to be dropped. But, this said police officer wasn't even aware of the medical marijuana program in this state. How is that possible?
Wow. What town was that?
This was past Boomtown. I'll get you her name and her information. You should definitely have her on the show because the story's crazy.
Wanacue or Pompton Lake? We were just up in Pompton Lakes last night. That's that area.
Yes, it was up that way. Yeah. It was definitely far up north.
Wayne, yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And there's a lot of the grow houses and the facilities are up there. So how do these cops not know about a program? The medical program in New Jersey is more than a decade old now. That's old news. So they should be aware on how to treat patients, on following the Kuma law, and, that's a pipe dream.
We're screwed because now what's going to happen is every patient that lights up legally, they're going to be questioned and carded.
100%. You're absolutely right.
So patients are still going to be victimized, still going through the system because cops are not going to know the law, and they really should be aware of the law.
There needs to be, part of the CRC needs to take a group of patients or have a group of advocates that really go around to each and every single county, borough, police office, just like how you're doing, Lefty, and they need to be made to sit down and listen and understand the law and understand it from a patient's point of view, because people are going to be harassed forever. That's never going to change. You know what I mean? Unless New Jersey actually takes the time to put the education out there. So if they're going to rob the industry and take a portion of it to put back into law enforcement, then a portion of that needs to be coming to advocates to educate law enforcement the right way.
Absolutely.
So whoever's listening, I'm down. I'm in. I'll 100% do it. I would love to educate every single law enforcement officer in New Jersey.
I'd like to educate the chief in your town.
Zabrowski, he is beyond, I don't even know. Education, getting past his head. He's so hardcore hung up on cannabis being reefer madness still. That's literally the town that I'm living in, which is crazy because, for the past 4 years, I've helped to educate Sayreville. I've stood next to you and spoke next to you. I've gone down to, the Sayreville Day community and educated people. We fed law enforcement all through COVID. And the same town that stood behind me now is literally trying to make me out to be Al Capone, which is hilarious, actually. All because I'm a cannabis advocate and a mom, and I believe in what I do, and I've created a safe place for patients to come and vibe and grow, and, we're the next wave. East Coast cannabis is here. We've been saying it for a very long time. So for them to think that they can shut down a voice of community in Sayreville, I've lived here, and just like I believe you and I were talking about, Sayreville's racist, man.
Yeah, they list all the black and brown people as white.
That's asinine. And I'll tell you, with all the Zoom court and everything that I'm going through right now with my case, most of the cannabis cases, and I mean, obviously, probably because I'm in Middlesex County, but most of the towns that are arresting cannabis people are Sayreville and Old Bridge.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
It's Sayreville, Old Bridge, Sayreville, Old Bridge.
Yep.
What the hell are we doing here?
Yeah.
Because I can name several massage parlors that are sex trafficking women with happy endings that have been shut down by police and are open again the next day, but yet we're going to leave them alone and let that be. And these are women and people in trouble. Then we have like fentanyl crack houses all around Sayreville and South Amboy that are out here thriving.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and leave them alone and come after the people that are interested in, you know, teaching people about plants and teaching people to change their life for the better. All right, sure. I'll go ahead and I'll be your bad guy.
Hey, can we talk about that big fat chick that ratted you out yet or not yet?
Not yet. We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there. But yes, it's unfortunate that this was like an inside job and somebody that was upset about the movement or unhappy of my representation in the community or whatever it was that, you know, placed a call and put me and my team and our community in danger. And that's crazy. You know, there's a lot of hate within the cannabis community, clearly, that I'm
I see it.
learn.
I see it. There's a lot of attacks. People think that I'm making money by going to these council meetings. People think that I'm making money from the industry. Like they're paying me to go to the council meetings to open up the towns for these business. I'm like, do you even know who I am? Like, what do you...
People don't understand passion, Lefty. People don't understand the passion.
No.
I've been following you for 4 years now, not only as a fan, a friend, a fellow advocate. I've learned a lot from you, Lefty. I've learned how to speak and put myself out there and kind of be brave and have the balls to be like, yeah, that's right. This is who we are. Sativa Cross taught me how. And it's not because you were financially funded or getting any kickbacks. Jeez. And, you know, that inspired me to run with the urban page and kind of create a setting and community.
Right on.
I'm not a video editor. Those pictures that I take, I pay photographers. I help support local businesses to take my picture, take my video, and edit that and put it on the page. So it cost me money to run that page. And the brands that I put on there are brands that I buy, that I love and trust and smoke with, and that's why I promote them. I'm unsponsored. You know, I want the people to know what's good, what's real, the people that support our community and stand behind us, and not about that corporate situation. But from an outsider looking in, they're like, oh, look at this girl getting paid by this one and this by that. Mm-hmm. No, actually, I have a regular 9-to-5 job, 2 of them, and I work very hard to pay to keep this community going. It's not about that at all. And there's so much hate for people that can't understand that. We put our passion out there because we want to change the narrative.
Yeah, we got haters and dividers. And the funny thing is, these people that are saying that, they're the ones that are cannabagging. They're the ones that have something to sell. Right. It's hilarious. 100%. Like, you're the one who's selling something, and you're saying that we're selling. Like, wait, this is wrong. And then if we say anything, then we're the bad guy. And then, like, you know, then we get into it on Facebook, and everybody looks like a jerk because we all are arguing on Facebook, and then everybody looks, oh, look at the New Jersey cannabis community. They're all this drama.
Right,
well,
and they're all down each other's throats, and we make yourselves look like a bunch of assholes. You're 100% right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
It's nuts.
I say it all the time. Like, why? We're supposed to work together.
Yeah.
Together is how we grow. Together is how we make the difference. If we're arguing amongst each other within the community that we're trying to build, that's not a foundation.
No, it's terrible.
That's not a foundation whatsoever. And there's a lot of layers to this onion. There's so much within the industry in cannabis. Like, there's a job for everybody to be doing. And if everybody could do their part, we would be even louder.
Yes. This is a living wage.
Instead of arguing and pointing fingers, like, let's go.
I mean, we're working class people. This is a working class issue, and we need to help each other because we're suffering patients. We're on disability. I mean, we're hurting. We need help from each other. We can't even get help from each other.
Yeah, and half the patients can't even afford to get to the dispensary to buy their medicine or aren't even in well enough health to get in a car to travel to be able to get there. Like, that's what makes me sick.
Yeah, nice bouncy ride.
Disgusting.
Nice bouncy ride when you have cancer or just had an operation. Let's bounce to the dispensary and let's get some moldy weed, some overpriced weed, some taxed weed. They're not taxing insulin, but they're taxing our weed. Come on.
Yeah. Man. And now New Jersey has Curaleaf that's coming in to steal all the testing spots and not even giving any of the other dispensaries an opportunity to have the cannabis that they're growing tested. And half the weed has been sitting there for how long? Medical cannabis sitting at a facility that the patients don't have access to because corporate cannabis is coming in and trying to crush the system. That's not medicine. I'm sorry. That's a monopoly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a monopoly. And, you know, it's so unfortunate that, you know, so many people don't know that and don't understand that. And when I have these sidebar conversations, they're like, wait, huh? What? I'm like, listen, there's a whole community of advocates and education that you could listen to this firsthand yourself. You know, and that's when I'm like, here, you know, follow my page. Here's Sativa Cross. Go and watch this YouTube. Here, come to Trenton. There's state rallies. Like, be aware. Be in the community. Go to where you live in your town and be aware of what's going on. Those are your tax-paying dollars. Be loud about where your money's going.
We make it so easy to come out now. Now it's one-click activism. We have all the towns listed. You click on the Zoom meeting. You come to the town. You hit your bong while you're talking to the council. It's
and I mean,
come on.
How convenient now. You definitely, this Zoom situation has definitely made it a lot easier for advocates to be louder, for sure.
Yeah, we're going to New York. We went to Babylon. We're going to Atlantic Beach.
You're everywhere, Lefty.
Everywhere. We went to Miami a few weeks ago. We're starting to expand. So.
And listen, that's the way that it should be, and all those communities need to come together because, like we keep saying, we're going to get it done together. At some point, in some way, everybody has to remember the patients. You know, it's all about the patients. That's why cannabis is what it is, and, you know, it's saving lives before anything else. So that's the most important thing. The patients cannot be forgotten.
We'll get there. And we're looking forward to seeing you and Urban.
Yes.
I like
Me and
Urban.
the fairies will be there. I can't wait to see you. We got a bunch of free coffee mugs, sweatshirts, sticker swag, everything for all the people.
Yes.
I'm pumped.
Yes. And we got free tacos for everybody, so.
Ooh, very nice.
Come on
very,
now.
very nice. You know what? Normally Michael makes some Java bottles in the beginning of the week. I'll have him make a whole stack, and I'll bring coffee for everybody so we can be louder.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Coffee and cannabis. You know how we roll.
I'm telling you. So get there early. We'll have 100 tacos to the first 100 people that come. So after that, you're on your own.
Awesome. And listen, there's a cancel culture against Urban. They took down my Instagram page.
Saw that.
But I'm actively fighting to get it back. I do have Urban 2.0, and I'm going to be posting on my personal pretty pinup as well. So anybody that needs more information, they can always DM on those two pages as well. Everybody and anybody should definitely be in Trenton Tuesday for sure.
Angela, thank you. I'll see you Tuesday, and it was great talking to you.
I can't wait to puff one down with you, Lefty.
That's right.
Have a good one, my man. I can't wait to see you.
You too.
Thanks again.
See ya.
Bye.
That's Angela from Urban. Okay. This is going to be a fun one. Let's see if I can do this now. I'm calling up Bob Botanic right now. Bob,
Hello, you have reached Bob Botanic's voicemail. Please leave a message. Bye-bye.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Bob, it's Lefty. I'm 10 minutes late calling you, but I am calling you. I was hoping we can have a little chat before lunch. I'm going to be cutting it short today, so I hope you hear this. I'm just going to keep talking on your message. Oh, did you smell? Oh, hold on. My phone didn't ring. Oh, your phone didn't ring? All right, I'll try it again. Hold on. Your phone didn't ring. Let's try it again. Let's see if that worked.
Hey.
There's Bob. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, it didn't ring at first. My house was kind of weird.
No problem.
Sometimes it doesn't ring, but I was watching you call me, and I said, was he calling me? And
sure enough. Anyway, here I am.
You're talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you.
I hope so. Yeah, so I have a lot to say about the fake legalization in New Jersey.
Fake legalization?
You know,
what? Oh, man. Really? Oh, God.
Yeah. So we have a situation where pretty much the investment houses dictated the terms of this whole thing.
Yeah.
So that they could have absolute control over distribution, production, how it's going to be marketed, and what's all that. Because the police in New Jersey, so much of their job in recent years has been chasing weed. I mean, from 2014, ACLU said they were spending $1/8 billion in New Jersey on weed enforcement. So that's a lot of police staffing, overtime, time coming out to trials to testify against, victims of the policies. And so you would think that with legalization, you might not need as many cops because that is such a big part of their job. But instead, what they're doing is they're leveraging the taxes from the legal sector of the market, and they're using part of the taxes to continue to fund policing. So what they're going to use the police for is to be a hitter squad on behalf of the industry, the so-called legal part of the industry, against their street competitors, the folks who have delivered the service of making cannabis available to the millions of New Jerseyans who use it recreationally and medically. And so the police will pretty much be like the gendarme. They will be using taxes collected from the legal market to continue the same kind of draconian enforcement against the competition. And an example of this is that even though we have supposed legalization and supposed criminalization, Murphy has directed the police to continue to make confiscations. And I'm not sure where this is going to all pan out, but no doubt they're going to be looking, especially to go after anyone who has grow operations and distribution operations, and we get to this whole thing where it's not like, even if there is any kind of approval, and I support those who are calling for 5 plants, 6 plants, but even that is such a limited, pathetic situation, because cannabis, you can grow in your yard. It's like it literally is a weed. That's why you call it weed. It's literally a weed. And I mean, if you want to grow the good stuff, you have to take care of it for sure. But to think that they can control it, and the only reason they want to control it like that is so that they can keep the prices high. And I read the article about the Canadian companies that are invested in New Jersey. They actually were saying that because of the way the it's being implemented, it's a perfect investment opportunity, and that's why they're investing hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions. I forget what the exact number was, but yeah, they had like this huge sum of money that they're investing in getting control of the New Jersey market, because it's set up in such a way that their competition is totally taken down because of partly because of the total continuation of prohibition of grow. Not even 5 plants, 3 plants, 2 plants, or whatever. But my view is you should be able to have as many plants as you're allowed to have tomatoes. Okay? If you get, there's no reason to control the number of plants. Now, they might say, okay, well, one reason would be we don't want the kids to get it. Young people have always had access to cannabis in New Jersey under the illegal market. Young people have access to liquor from their parents' cabinet now. people have access to cigarettes. You're not gonna have any less young people having access to it just because it's allowed to be grown. Another reason is they want to make sure that it's safe, that it's that it's not going to be sprayed with pesticides but you just have the big flap over Curaleaf selling moldy weed, So where is the safety? Supposedly in a control market is going to be safe, but here we have the legal medical provider, Curaleaf, sold a whole lot of moldy weed. So where is that control in the legal?
How does that happen? How does that even happen? I don't get it.
Well, it's because if they knew it was moldy, I don't know if they knew it was moldy or whatever.
Maybe they did.
Is that what you mean? Like, how did they?
Yeah,
they didn't.
Maybe they knew. Maybe they didn't care.
Right, because they didn't want to. They didn't want to write it off. But I mean, look at it. You got banks that launder billions of dollars for drug cartels in Mexico, like HSBC. That's just one of them of all the main banks are involved in this money laundering, and that's a regulated industry. So the regulations don't protect anything. The banks are up to their eyeballs in laundering, literally billions of dollars for the cartels that play soccer with people's heads. So my suggestion is that yes, we should promote the law for a certain number of plants, but at the same time, we should maintain our own vision, and that the cultivation should be for everybody. Because if you just limit the way they're doing it now, that's the way that they want to be able to make a maximum amount of margin for a very small number of profiteers. Whereas if everyone could grow, the market will determine. I mean, you might say, well, if everyone grows, it's going to be too much. But that won't be the case, because if there's no market for it, people will only grow what they can market or what they need to share. But I would suggest that people start developing collectives now to try to figure out. The collectives would figure out how to grow, how to provide a legal campaign to challenge the illegality of the laws that say only those who are sanctioned, who made the donations to Murphy and made the donations to those who put forward the laws in such a way, because that's illegal. I mean, Weed Man Suit has a good point that how could it, if they're saying it's still illegal, that's why we could confiscate from someone who they catch with weed now. They say they can't arrest them, but they could confiscate. If it's to that point, well, then how come they can't confiscate, according to the same federal laws, the piles of weed in Curaleaf and all the other plants? His argument also holds true for grow. Why, if it's a federal law that says it's illegal, still controlled, saying okay, that's why we can't let everyone grow. Well, that should apply to the big. To the ones who are sanctioned, who are going to be making this, hundreds of millions of dollars from the market. So I would suggest that support the laws for, a few plants, but at the same time start building collectives. And because New Jersey is suffering economically, and here we have an opportunity where there's going to be a new source of revenue for New Jersey. Cannabis, and that source of revenue should help all the people who are suffering in this economy now. All the people who are willing to work together to try to put together a way to make good quality cannabis available at a decent price, safe, and also moderately costing, not $400 or $500 an ounce. Why should it be $400 or $500 an ounce? Because they want to keep the limited supply that they control, so that they could charge the high rates, and that's why they want to use the police to go. There has been. You would think that with all the dedication of policing to cannabis, once cannabis is legal, you would think that there'd be an opportunity to get some great savings to the taxpayers by laying off the percentage of police time that has been dedicated to enforcing these draconian, oppressive and repressive laws. So, but there is not. Nobody's talking about, okay, now that weed is going to be legal, nobody's talking about laying off police. They're talking about spending more money to police and shifting the money, the tax money, instead of helping, helping with meeting the needs of communities, to take some of that money and give it to cops who've already been reaping. They own. That's why they buy a second home down the shore or North Carolina. They buy these houses with the money they made chasing weed. Going to court over time and testifying against people that they caught with weed. How much of their time over the years is spent? What percentage of policing time has been spent chasing weed? That percentage, it could be tremendous savings to taxpayers. But not take those finances and put it into recreation.
I want wheelchair reparations. Wheelchair reparations. I want wheelchair reparations.
Yeah, absolutely. Every kind of service that's needed, including disability support in the schools, disability support of all kinds, not just wheelchair, but wheelchair for sure. Why not?
You know what pisses me off, Bob? You know what pisses me off? They say these schools are wheelchair accessible. No, one entrance to these schools is usually wheelchair accessible. So what happens when you have someone in a wheelchair in a school and there's a fire between that wheelchair and the ADA entrance? Where are they going to get out of the school from? I see these schools with one exit and entrance for wheelchairs. The rest of them have steps. What do we throw them out the door? We take wheelchair people and throw them out the door. Really? There's no. They're an afterthought. People in wheelchairs are an afterthought, and they're spending all this money on everything else but what they should be spending money on. It's disgusting.
And sometimes this is Philadelphia, but sometimes those rants are like ridiculous. I have a little story. I went to Philadelphia on election day because I heard that the Proud Boys were going to be attacking election polls or whatever, and so I was in the parking lot and I saw this guy, and I saw he was packing a pistol, and his wife was in the wheelchair, so I offered to help. In order to keep an eye on him, I offered to help him with his wife up this ramp, and this ramp was a monstrosity, and she was kind of heavy. And me and him had a real hard time pushing her. It was like two lanes. It was about, I guess it was totally about 80 or 100 feet. And it was rickety. It was, it was like this old, the sidewalk was, the pave was like all cracked. It's like impossible. And that was a school. It was an election at a school. So yeah, that was Philadelphia, but I'm sure it's the same in a lot of the schools here too. That
it's awful.
Even if they do have one access, it's probably almost impossible to pass. So yeah, I think that folks should start thinking about collectively figuring out how they can work together to grow and share the to bring costs down. Maybe have like a sharing arrangement of everyone who's part of the collective. They get, a certain amount of the cannabis or a certain amount of whatever margin. Meanwhile, that the same collective can could pool their resources to advocate to demand not only like a handful of plants, but straight up cultivation. New Jersey's a garden state. It's an opportunity for New Jersey to be able to lift up the whole state economically. Working people can work at these grow places and help with the marketing. Farmers who are also struggling. Why shouldn't New Jersey farmers be able to reap the benefits of this new market in New Jersey, this emerging market? Because they want to limit if they limit the people who can engage in it, there's a lot more money for them to be made. And we're talking the ones that are going to be reaping the benefits. They don't need the money. They're already billionaires. So why should a market be set up that the only ones who can profit from it are already billionaires, already made? What about all the struggling people of New Jersey who should be able to have as much benefit from this market as everybody else. And the market itself will control. I mean, there's only so much weed New Jersey needs, so it's not like, everyone will be growing so many plants. You're not going to grow a whole bunch of plants that you can't sell. So let the market control that. I mean, everyone says let the market control, except when it comes to making sure some people get richer than everybody else. Then they put controls over the market so that only they can grow and only they can market it. So I think we, if in addition to the demands for immediate grow, which are legit and should be supported, I think we need to keep an eye on the vision of the way it should be. Like a lot of the reform is the argument is, well, this is all we're going to get for now, so that's all we should ask for, and that's a legitimate tactic. But at the same time, we should make system challenging demands. Like, we should all be able to grow as much as the market allows. We should be able to collectively grow, and we should be able to all share in the financial benefit. And I think that's an important argument to make, that the financial, they're trying to make like, we're going to let this many minorities and this many this and this many that, but it's still all going to be, you need to have a certain chunk of change to get involved to begin with. But it doesn't take a certain chunk of change to grow 20 plants. It just takes some know-how and some study and, a few $100s for the right kinds of fertilizer, et cetera. And that could be a good shot in the arm for a family who's facing possible losing their mortgage or whatever financial challenges they're having. There's so many financial challenges in New Jersey, and the benefit of this, it's going to be a windfall of profits that should be spread across everyone, and none of it should go to people who are already billionaires, because they don't need it. It should go to the people. That's my take on it. And we also need to say we got too many cops. I mean, when you got so many cops, they're running around looking for weed. They're running around looking for aeration, little aeration tree hanging from the rearview mirror. And they're putting people at risk of being murdered by police and traffic stops because they got too much time on their hands. When you got too many cops, and when they're playing too much of a role, and part of that too much of a role has been arresting 35,000 New Jerseyans a year. I had this debate with Lautenberg about legalization, an email debate. And he was like, I'm going to study the matter. And I responded to him. I said, you've been in office for decades. And in that time, over 1 million New Jerseyans have been arrested. And now you're going to study it? What have you been doing for the last several decades? For 2 decades.
Not much.
And after that, he came out with, he was decrim only. And his big concern was what he called the rehabilitation community, or the recovery community, and basically what that means is they want to be able to continue to recommend treatment for people for cannabis, which to me is kind of a form of torture.
Hey, I know. I'm going to give you Suboxone. I'll give you Suboxone for your cannabis addiction. How's that? That'll work.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and again, that's not a community. That's a business.
Yeah.
There's not a recovery community. There's a recovery business. There's a recovery industry.
It's body broker.
I'm not totally against recovery. Some people need help. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying the cannabis laws shouldn't be there to serve the needs of a industry. And recovery has nothing to do with cannabis. Recovery is more for people who have serious problems with drugs and alcohol. And cannabis is not a serious problem. I mean, some people overdo it, but
some do. But some people they do gambling. Yeah. They overdo gambling. They overdo sex. They overdo eating. So I mean, 10% of our population is going to be addicted to something. That's the way it is. you know?
So yeah, my thing is that we should continue to hold up the way it should be, and that should be what we strive for. And we shouldn't accept the argument, oh, we can't do it because this or that, because the system's this or that. If that's the case, then the system's got to go, because there's a lot of things that we can't do because the system this and the system that. But if we don't do, people die and people get killed and people get neglected and people's lives are ruined. So if the system says we can't do something that needs to be done for the people's survival and the people's improvement, the upliftment of the overwhelming majority of the people, then the system's got to go. We don't have to accommodate a system. What's this system designed to? We got like about 10 guys who own more than half the planet. That's literally true.
Yeah.
And the system is designed so that they continue to accumulate more. Yep. How is that a system that, oh, we can't do it because the system this or that? That's the system. Mm-hmm. That's not sustainable. It is not sustainable. That's why there's so much misery, so much death by curable disease, so much death from easily preventable disease like water issues, so much death from war and from sanctions and, everything else that the United States is up to, and the rest of the countries trying to manipulate markets and trying to control resources so that, all the profits come to these 10 guys. I mean, there's hundreds of them around them who are like next in line, who are also part of trying to accumulate more and more. But it comes down to this whole system serves like such a tiny sliver of the population. And when you look at it, and the rest of the world's in misery, the system's unsustainable. And that goes for the cannabis laws too. We can't say, oh, well, this is all we're going to get. Yes, fight for what you can get immediately, but hold up the vision of looking at it as cultivation, not just growing a few plants, but farmers and workers who work with those farmers, they should be able to grow. And I'm not saying there should not be any regulations. They should be pollution regulations and, don't put poison on the plants that, they're going to harm the people. Yes, control so there's not mold. Labor laws, the workers in the cannabis industry should be paid a livable wage. They should get $15, maybe $25 an hour, depending on how well the business is going. Yes, they should not be cheated of wages like happens in a lot of business in New Jersey. So those kind of rules should be enforced. I'm not saying it should be totally unregulated whatsoever, but it should the idea that they need to limit the amount of plants and that only certain people can grow. I mean, some say, oh, well, we don't want to have unlimited growth. But the people who got dealt the cards, the ones who are controlling it, they do have unlimited growth. They grow as much as they want and profit as much as they want. So then, if they could have unlimited growth, then why not everyone else? That's the weed man argument. It's kind of like it's not equal protection under the law.
Right.
Because they paid in. I mean, I've seen the articles where the industry has been paying into governors' campaigns so that they make and at the same time recommending that grow be illegal, so that they can control it. The industry is calling that shot, and they have like an excuse list of rationales for it. But the bottom line is that's just a cover. They just want to control it so that they could be the ones to profit from it, and so that it does not spread across. I mean, New Jersey could use a good economic shot in the arm, and we're not going to get it because they're structured this in such a way that's going to limit who gets all the margin. There's going to be some jobs, and that's a good thing, but there's going to be too much of the margin is going to go to too few people, and therefore it's not going to be spread across the population. That really, we have a lot of poverty, we have a lot of suffering right here in New Jersey, and this could be. I'm not going to say it could solve everyone's problems, but it could go a long way toward improving the economic conditions and uplifting the entire state economically, not just a handful of players who now have the police serving as their own private security force to take out their competition.
It's scary, Bob. It's scary. It's very scary. You know what else they're doing in New York? They're doing this in New Jersey right now, but in New York a couple of years ago, the cannabis industry got together. It's called the NYMCIA, and they got together. It's companies like Columbia Care, Etain, PharmaCann, Botanist, Acreage, Vireo, and MedMen. They all got together, and they wrote a memo to Cuomo saying to ban home cultivation. The industry in New York wrote a letter to Cuomo to ban the industry. So I'm sure Governor Murphy got that same letter in New Jersey.
Right. Exactly. And you just put your finger out. I was kind of like making vague reference because I read that article. I was making a vague reference of, but you just put the facts together around it. But yeah, the industry has been calling the shots, and I saw the article about the Canadian companies, and I haven't been able to find it since, but the Canadian companies that are investing in New Jersey, that they said that the way New Jersey structured this is perfect and that's why they're investing tens of millions in New Jersey, if it wasn't hundreds of millions, because it's structured in a way so that they could profit, and they and only they can profit, and that means it's not like New Jersey just dreamed up. They've been working with them all along. I mean, he's a Wall Street boy. He's Goldman Sachs. Of course, he's gonna take care of his billionaire constituency. And that's going to be without even trying, but especially when they're culling favor. I saw also that they've given the maximum to him for his campaign. The cannabis companies, they're maxed out as far as campaign contributions to him. I don't know if you saw that article, but it's not like we're making it up. That's how this whole country functions. Industry, people with the money, they hire all the lawyers that write all the laws. Most of the politicians don't even read the laws; they just get it handed to them by the lobbyists, and they just put their names on it, and they issue it as their laws. And half the stuff that passes through Congress, nobody read. And it's all about continuing the flow of wealth and resources and power and control to a smaller handful of people, and their goal is to continue to consolidate. Questioning that, you're not a realist. You're a utopian. You're a communist, a socialist, or you're not really evaluating like what the real the real situation is. But the flip of that is what the fantasy is. You can't sustain the planet when everything is done just for like a smaller and smaller gang of cutthroats, and they are cutthroats. And I'll say this, that a billionaire will cut the throat of their best golf partner if they could get away with it, and if it would improve their economic position. They don't really care. They might act like they're best pals when they're strutting the 18, but if they had an opportunity to cut their pal down, and it was going to put more money in their pocket, they'll do it, because that's what they do. They'll go to war. They'll slaughter thousands of people just to continue the funds flowing. So, of course, they're going to control how cannabis is implemented in New Jersey. It's such a preposterous thing that still now, supposedly we can't be arrested, but they could still confiscate,
they'll take your weed, though.
They could, yeah, it's like what the hell? And the reason why they want to maintain that is so that they can go after the competition. And they want people just to buy the safe weed from their stores that aren't. Who knows when they're going to be open? When they're actually going to have anything open that people could actually get legal weed from. So they can still confiscate. So then police are still going to have an excuse to search you because you might have had illegal weed. You know, we thought we saw some. They supposedly they can't use the smell excuse anymore, but they'll come up with we saw some or whatever we saw evidence of, or and the other thing is the other totally preposterous thing is the idea that some of that tax money is going to create programs where they train police to take 6 hours of training. And these guys, you don't have to have a college degree. Basically, you could be someone who barely struggled through high school or got a GED, could hardly read. And they're going to be able to teach these guys in 6 hours to be able to look in your eyes and accuse you of being under the influence. To be able to medically determine by looking in your eyes that you're under the influence. It's total sophistry. It's total preposterous pseudoscience. But that's where the money's going, and that's the excuse. So it won't be smell weed anymore. They're going to say they looked in your eyes, and you look like you might have been under cannabis, and then they'll be searching, and then they'll be confiscating, and then they'll be charging for driving under the influence. And that's where the money's going. You know, the tax money that should be going to recreation programs, like you said, remediation for disability access and disability services. And disability needs all kinds of services that are unmet in schools. There's always a budget reasons not to meet the full needs of the students with disabilities. There's always pressures on not, doing everything they should do, providing the kinds of support. Like they could have support communities where it's not like an institution, but a support community that helps people who just kind of need a little bit of support to live. I mean, not even people with disabilities, but young people who like all the dormitories that were empty over COVID.
Yeah.
They could convert them to hostels for young workers with some service, with some support services, medical support services, and, with an office you can go to that's part of the complex. So everyone has a room. Nobody's sleeping in the street anymore. I mean, how many workers sleep in the street? I mean, we hold protests in Newark once a month against the war, and right by the train station. There's literally hundreds of people that sleep within a 4 or 5 block radius of that train station.
I know.
And they've been sleeping all winter. They've been sleeping out there on 10, 15 degree pavements. And, a lot of those folks, their lives are totally disorganized or whatever. That doesn't mean they should have to sleep in the street. There's so many unoccupied, because they build buildings all the time, and they never have a plan to actually do something with the building. You look around, you drive past all these empty malls. They could all be converting those into facilities with all kinds of services, so intake, but also at least a shelter.
Right.
And that's where the taxes should go. We don't need to pay the cops. And even though the cops are getting that money, they're still trying to undermine it. Like, they were crybabying about because they were told that they weren't allowed to go after kids anymore. And they weren't allowed to tell the parents. They shouldn't have to tell the parents. The issue of weed is between the parent and the kid. We don't need someone with a gun to come knocking on the door. Oh, we caught him with weed. Fuck you. Get off my property, Because I don't even want to know that you even have anything to do with bringing my son or daughter home with that. They made this whole big thing, and the media blew it out of proportion, and they pushed it back. But that was put in there as a result of the communities that were tired of weed being used as an excuse to harass their kids. Mainly the black and brown and impoverished communities, they made that demand. That was a legitimate thing that was in there and got rolled back and the cops are going to keep pushing back. Cops are going to push local towns into passing all these ordinances where you can't have sales or lounges in the towns. And so what's that going to do? That means people are going to have to drive from town to town and they're more likely to be on the road for a longer period of time if they want to go to a lounge. So therefore, so you're trying to make the streets safer by not allowing it to be in your town, but they have to drive further. So the risk of an act, if cannabis, if they're saying cannabis is such a risk, and I'm not even sure, there's still studies out there that are saying that cannabis doesn't really impact people's driving abilities like alcohol does. It certainly doesn't. But even if that's your argument, then why make people that have to drive further to pursue their recreational right? We've been waiting decades for legalization, and we got a phony version of it. And we're told that, well, that's what you got. You should be happy with it, and we got to continue to tinker away with it. I think we need to continue to hold up the vision of how we say it should be done, and fight for that, along with fighting for all the other systemic rooted things that need to change, like war and livable wages for working people, health care for all, early child support, all kinds of support. I mean, it's just the only purpose of government should be to serve the people, not to serve industry. And we pay enough taxes. Our taxes should not go to subsidize industry, subsidize police who are serving industry. Our taxes should go to helping everybody live a better life, and that includes, the kind of legalization we should have. The legalization should serve all the people's needs, and that would mean that everybody who wants to get involved and grow should be able to do it. And that should be. And how many tomatoes can you have? Can you have 50 tomato plants? You should be able to have 50 cannabis plants if you have the wherewithal. Now, if you don't do a good job with it, you're going to grow shit weed. It's going to get eaten by bugs and everything. But if you're willing to put the effort into growing yourself some good weed, you should be able to do it, and you should be able to share it and make a little bit margin of it and help people get a decent price. So people could get ounces for $100 instead of $500. Why not?
I'm clapping. I'm golf clapping right now, just so you know. This is what I'm golf clapping right now. This is what Charles Kwiatkowski has been asking for years. He wants to grow cannabis next to his tomatoes. Who's he hurting?
No, it's exactly right, and that should be what our vision is. I'm not saying we shouldn't fight for the laws with 5 plants or whatever, but we should fight for the immediate need reforms like that, but at the same time hold up the vision. And when we make our vision, we're saying that when we take control, when we run these billionaires, out of the positions to be able to control our lives, this is how it's going to be, and we should have that vision. And the vision should define that it's going to serve everyone's need. It's going to bring the cost. Now, if everyone grow as much as they want, you might not be able to make thousands and thousands of dollars of it, but that might be okay. Maybe because it's so prevalent, the cost will be less. The amount of effort, the amount of margin you can make would be less. Not everyone's going to want to grow, so there's still going to be a lot of people who want to be able to just, pick it up from their friend who's growing. And so you'll still be able to make some kind of margin for your effort, for your work, just like any other business that you put effort into. Maybe not become a millionaire out of it. Maybe just make a few $1,000s a year to help you pay off your taxes on your property or whatever it is that you need that few extra thousands for. What's wrong with that? Spread it out to everyone. Everyone is willing to do the effort to do a good job, to provide some safe, quality product.
Bob, do you know that 2/3 of all bankruptcies are caused by medical debt?
Well, this country is like preposterous. This country tries to run around the world telling everyone how it does everything better than everyone else. It does everything worse than everyone else. Every other developed nation has medical care, has health care.
Yep.
the fact that we have a for-profit healthcare and the health insurance takes like $1 out of 3 spent on medical care, like how is that sustainable? It's not, and that's why somewhere around 50,000 people die a year who, if they could have afforded it, they would still be living. So it's killing 50,000 people. Plus, what you just said, driving people into poverty because they got sick. They hit the reverse lottery. They got sick, and either their insurance didn't cover it or they didn't have insurance. And then the next thing you know, they spend the rest of their lives living marginally. They never can get back up on their feet again because of that medical debt. That's like it's like a cinder block. Trying to swim with a cinder block tied to your leg.
Yeah,
don't work. So there are so many systemic issues, but I think cannabis. I think it's definitely makes sense to make a systemic analysis of this. I'm an anti-capitalist. I'll be the first to admit it. And we can look at this and see that capitalism is what's driving New Jersey's implementation. Because you've got billionaires who are ponying up. They spread the money around to the politicians through campaign contributions, and so it's being shoehorned in a way that serves their interests. And in the meantime, the other force that has weighed in on this, the police and prison unions, the prison police, their unions have kept it illegal so that they can continue to, get all this overtime and need all these more cops because, to enforce weed laws. So now they're trying to keep them happy at the same time too, with this, by getting them more involved in going after the competition and in, being able to look in your eyes like some kind of magician and
Bob, what makes makes me crazy? We only hear from one side of the police officers. I talk to a lot of chiefs, and believe me, 2/3 of the chiefs want legalization. They believe in our constitutional rights, but they're not allowed to talk. We only get to hear from chiefs like Zembrowski, who can talk about Sam and Ramp and Kevin Sabet's PowerPoints all day, but we don't get to hear from the cops that believe in the Constitution, that believe in personal freedom, because if they talk, they're not allowed to talk about something that's federally illegal. So the good cops lose their First Amendment rights, and we only hear from the bad cops. What is that all about?
Yeah, and that goes for even the rank and file, too, as well, because the unions, the unions would be representing the position that, they're looking at. It's a revenue thing. They know that part of their revenue stream has been from weed law. About $1/8 of $1 billion a year. A lot of that goes to police salaries for the time they spent chasing weed. Yeah. And so they play this role, and that's why they're getting so much of a carve out. And at the same time, they're still continuing to undermine it. They're pressuring towns to make it locally illegal for lounges and markets.
Ridiculous.
You're right. There's exceptions.
I want to hear from the good cops. I want to hear from the cops that can't speak. How come they don't have a First Amendment right to speak the truth? I don't get it.
Yeah, there is a blue wall of silence, they say.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with when you have, not all cops are corrupt, but there's enough of them that are, and the rest of them that don't, they don't go after their brethren who are corrupt because, then they might not get support when they need it out in the field, the Serpico syndrome.
Yeah, that's changing. That's changing, though, I think, too. A lot more whistleblowers. A lot of whistleblowers now, which is,
But the cop unions are a powerful entity in New Jersey, and they're still playing a role, and they already pushed back on that the squeal, that they weren't allowed to squeal now, that so they pushed back on that, and they're going to chip away. They're going to find like weak points and they'll make, because if you notice, it was a coordinated thing, because the police unions and several chiefs all at the same time started complaining about that, that they can't go to the parents of the kid they catch with the weed.
Yeah.
And then they got some parents all upset about it, and I didn't get that either. Like, if you don't know, if you need a cop to tell you that your kid's getting high, maybe you're not doing the parenting job that you need to be doing, and if you want someone to come, if you want to authorize someone with a gun to have interactions with your child, and that's the only way you're going to learn that they might be imbibing in cannabis. And it's not, it's the regular, not everyone does, not every young person does, but a good portion do, and I don't even know what the numbers are. I remember when I was in school, it was almost everyone. I don't know if it still is, but it's just like, alcohol. Kids experiment with alcohol, kids experiment with cigarettes, and some, it ruins their lives. Others, it's just a passing phase, or they just keep it in moderation. Not everyone who tries cannabis in high school ends up becoming a whole gateway drug is ridiculous, but some people, it probably is not a good thing for them. Some people, they use it once in a while, they have some fun, they party a little bit, loosens them up, and it doesn't destroy their lives. So, it's not like it's this tremendous problem, and it's not like the problem just started, or it's only going to start now that it's legal. It's been here, and it's not going to change much, because it's been pretty prevalent all these years, since I've been paying attention. I'm 61. I'm going to be 61 this year. So that's how long I've been paying attention. And since I was in high school to today, I haven't really, pretty much kids, a certain percentage of kids are going to smoke weed, and it's not going to get more or less just because it's legal or because there's more of it. They have alcohol in their parents' cabinets. They have in the bathroom, in the cabinet, the parents' drug supplies that they could hit up if they want. It's not like, they have access to these teasers to, try now. So that's not really going to be a big change. It's not going to be nothing new, but they try to like oversell this idea that, all the kids are going to, well, pretty much all the kids have access to it now. And some kids decide not to. Some kids try it, they like it a little bit. Some kids go overboard with it, just like everything else. Anyway, so I've just been ranting and raving. I hope I've been saying kinds of stuff you were hoping I would say. I don't know.
This is like the best interview ever. Thanks, Bob.
Okay, well, that sounds pretty good. But no, I think that I would suggest that regardless of what they decide, whether they pass or they don't pass something that says 5 or 6 plants, I would suggest that people start legitimately creating a collective now, or collectives, saying that they're going to figure out how to do it in a way that they don't get detected, in a way that it's a shared thing, in a way that, they could be like, however the collective defines how they're going to share the product. Maybe you get a certain part of the crop, or you get a certain cut of, I don't know how to work it out, but the collectives also can collectively struggle to legalize and wrest control from billionaires of how it's run. I think the struggles we should not think that this is the end point, that this is only the beginning, that we're going to struggle in New Jersey to wrest control of how this has been implemented, and we're going to totally trash the way that they did it, and we're going to replace it in a way that makes it so that everybody in New Jersey that wants in could get in, that there's no stigma of it, there's no counting how many plants, there's no cops are going to be inspecting your backyards to make sure that you're complying with some kind of draconian things. Regulations to make sure you're not putting harmful pesticides and herbicides that you're not selling moldy product, that you're not exploiting child labor, or you're paying legitimate wages and not, cheating your workers, all well and good. That should be there. But as far as, you can't because, the Wall Street's controlling it, that is preposterous. The system where a handful of billionaires get everything is unsustainable, and it's causing millions of people across the planet to die and live in misery every single day. United States supporting dictatorships everywhere. I'm working with Haitians now, and in Haiti, they got no water, they got no electricity, they live in shanty places. And the United States, and they've been struggling for centuries for liberation, and they got a constitution in 1987. The United States is undermining that constitution now, and people are continuing to die in Haiti. So that's just an example, and I know we're not here to talk about Haiti, but my point is that is the system that's not sustainable, and it's the same way across the board, where everything is decided based on, what do the billionaires want? How? There's only a handful of billionaires. Why should it be decided what the billionaires want? It shouldn't be. It should be what we need to survive and to improve our standard of living and our livelihoods. And so we could work less, and we could live more and have more recreation in our lives, and so that everyone gets a better life. It should not, and you say that, you must be a socialist. Okay, then call me a socialist, because I don't think like 10 guys should own half the planet, and that every law should be written so that they can continue to accumulate more. And that's how the New Jersey's weed law is. It's just so the billionaires could get more billions. It's like, and New Jersey's one of the worst. New Jersey, I don't know, maybe you know the numbers. Most of the states had some level of grow that have passed legalization. That's what I've heard, right?
Yeah. New York, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, even New York, yeah. Because originally they were not going to, but Cuomo kind of, he's having such a hard time of it. He's looking for, he's grasping at straws, so all of a sudden he becomes a big legalizer. But, take what you can get. Yes, but they kind of flipped on the grow issue, and so, New Jersey needs to immediately meet the demands of your protest on the 20th, but at the same time we need to say, as we demand that's not going to be enough. We're only getting warmed up here, and I think that there needs to be an escalating struggle of how New Jersey does how New Jersey runs it. It should be everyone could benefit, everyone could share in it, and it'll bring the prices for everyone down. So, having a little bit of fun is not going to cost you, or meeting your medical needs is not going to cost you, an arm and a leg. Shouldn't, I don't know how much weed medical users generally. Do you know what the average number of ounces a year would be for like a medical user? I don't know the numbers.
I buy an eighth a month, whether I need it or not.
An eighth?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not that much.
No.
So you're like a month and an ounce and a half a year then.
Yeah, pretty much. That's probably what they'll find on my records. Yeah, an ounce and a half a month. That's not what I smoke. That's what I buy from the dispensaries, though.
Wait. Oh. So ounce and a half a year, because you just said a month. A year, though, right?
Yeah.
An eighth a month.
The legal cannabis, I buy an eighth of legal cannabis a month, and then the rest I have to get where I get it from, because I can't afford to buy legal cannabis. I just can't. I'm on disability. I don't have the money.
No, and that's what I'm saying. It's like preposterous, especially for medical people who need it. But even for recreation, why should it cost so much when it could be so easily made available? Because it's hard to grow good products, but it's not that hard, And you could even have like services that help people grow. Like, say I want to have 20 plants, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I could hire a grow service to come in and kind of like help with the cultivation. So that's another industry that would grow out of that. You could be an expert grower. You could have 20 clients, and you visit their 10, 20, 30 plants. You make the rounds, helping them out. This one, this, that one, that. If you do this, you get that. A whole nother little industry can develop. Grow helpers. People who don't even grow their own, but just know how to do it. And they could just be like advisors to everyone who's got their little backyard stash or basement or attic or whatever they're doing. That. Why not? Why not share so that everyone can get a cut of this? And it's not like a moral thing. They make it like it's a moral thing, but if it's a moral thing, they wouldn't have unlimited growth for the ones who are the ordained. Anyway.
When are you at the train station, and how can people get in touch with you?
I didn't see the mail. Sorry, my wife was just asking me. What was the first question?
When are you at the train station again, and how do people contact you?
What do you mean at the train station?
You said you go to the train station once a month?
Oh, yeah. We have a month, and on May 12th at Penn Station, it was actually one gateway, and that's it was Menendez and Booker, but Menendez, we ran him out of Newark. He moved off to Jersey City for his office. But yeah, so that's the main reason we're there is because it's a symbol of the federal government, because Booker's office is there. And it's an anti-war, anti-interventionist protest. The next one's May 12th at 5:30 p.m. And my phone number, I put on banners, I put everywhere. My phone number is 908-881-5275, 908-881-5275. And if you're interested in anything I was talking about, but also if you're interested in doing some serious work against war and against U.S. intervention in March, we worked with the Ecuadorians, and we were opposing U.S. Interference in their election. Unfortunately, the United States was able to somewhat undermine the results, not to the level of a coup, but they supported some political forces that were able to so that the banker Lasso, who's like a total neoliberalist, and he'll be supporting like any kind of crackdown on his own people. He won, unfortunately. But in April, we worked with the Haitians who were trying to fight to get their democracy back, and the Haitians will be back on May 12th with us at 5:30, One Gateway Plaza in Newark, New Jersey. And yeah, we do this monthly, and we try to reach out and support to groups in national struggles who have constituencies in New Jersey, and we work with them to try to help them oppose the United States from intervening in their countries by undermining elections, coup d'etats, outright warfare, supporting repressive police and military forces, the whole gambit. You're probably familiar with it. You've been around a while. I think you've got some anti-war leanings of your own. So, and that's what we do. We do this. I mean, that's one of the things we do. I'm also building a website called fightbackbetter.com. And I kind of, I got to get back to it because I've been like focused on this Ecuador and Haiti thing recently, so I kind of neglected it. But the goal of that is to build a data resource to start using like a data-driven process that kind of automatically organizes us. Like, for example, the way the industry is using these kind of methods for marketing. But can you imagine you being a cannabis advocate, instead of you having to figure out where are the other cannabis advocates and how do I get involved? The data can immediately plug you in. You move into a new neighborhood, if you have a profile and the system knows, where you stand on issues, it could immediately connect you to the people in that neighborhood who work on the issues that you like to work on along the perspective, with the caveat of according to of struggle, it can literally self-organize. Can you imagine that? So that's what I'm trying to build with fightbackbetter.com. It's got a long ways to go, but yeah, a data-driven process that automatically organize a struggle. Can you imagine that? You know how Facebook recommends, people who we have common friends with. So, you might want to friend this one or friend that one. Facebook's doing all that for marketing purposes, but can you imagine if the objective of that kind of process was like improve all of our struggles? If we didn't have to run around trying to chase each other and trying to do like a kind of like would automatically synthesize the relationships, and build collaboration with between groups and individuals. How does that sound?
I'm coming there on the 12th. I'm going to bring you a T-shirt, and I think you're going to like it.
Oh, I'm sure I will. You're bringing it to me.
It's I have these don't shoot shirts. Don't shoot, I'm white. Don't shoot, I'm a veteran.
Oh, yeah.
Don't shoot, I'm running away. I actually made don't shoot, I'm Haitian for a Haitian friend of mine, and I have a couple, I think, left. I'm going to bring you one.
Yeah, well, there might be some other folks who like it too, because as a matter of fact, that is what's happening. They're having their, if you're following it, this guy Moise, his term ended in February, and so he was the Constitution that they shed their blood for, and they won in 1987, says that there was supposed to be an election. The election hasn't happened, and he's saying he's going to tear up the Constitution and rewrite it so he can stick around for another year. And then, we start moving back to the President for Life days of the Duvalier, Papa Doc and Baby Doc. And when the people are protesting, they've been getting killed by two ways. One is by point blank tear gas canister. Like they're shooting at the protesters in Brooklyn Center in Minnesota, because the poor young man was killed after having an aeration thing hanging from his mirror. So they'll get killed by that, but also snipers. So there's like dozens of Haitians in recent months have been killed by sniper fire protesters and by tear gas cannons. So your shirt kind of is very appropriate for what's going on today in Haiti. But the people in Haiti, they have such a rich history of struggle. First from there was when they rebelled against the French, and they actually liberated themselves from the French. But then the French, when they pulled out, they made an arrangement where they had to pay them a certain tremendous amount a year that kind of kept Haiti so they could never prosper, because it always had to come up with this money or else France was going to come back in. So it's like they had to pay ransom not to be slaughtered for all these centuries. But that was centuries ago. I mean, Toussaint Louverture, he died in a French prison in 1803. So that tells you how long the Haitians have been fighting for their freedom. And here in 2021, the Biden administration is working with this guy who wants to be Jovenel Moise, who wants to be president for life, who's killing the people who are protesting. So your shirt, very appropriate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, thank you. It's been very.
I know I talked a lot.
No, we touched on a lot of stuff here, so I'm gonna have to review the tape now and go back. We talked about a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff going on in Jersey, so we're gonna talk again. And I'm gonna come and see you on the 12th and bring you a shirt. So I will probably bring some cannabis and a shirt, and we'll take it from there on the 12th. Awesome. Thanks, Bob.
That sounds great, dude. And I'm gonna try to make it on the 20th. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to get that banner printed, but if I can, I'd have to get it to the shop tomorrow to get it printed.
Right on. Right on, brother. All right. Well, thanks again for calling in, man. We'll talk to you soon.
And thanks for having me. I appreciate the honor.
Yeah, brother. See ya.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Cool, man. Bob Botonic. I'm going to go to Newark on the 12th. That sounds wild. I didn't know he did that every month. That's pretty cool. I missed a call. We have a new sponsor coming to the event. Well, he's not a new sponsor. He's an old sponsor, but he's an old friend also, and he's coming to our event. And
Hello?
Eric Satt, you're on the air. How are you?
Oh, really? That's what you're doing to me, huh?
Yeah. I'm excited. Dude, I'm so excited that you're going to be part of
going
this.
on?
Nothing, man. How you feeling? How's your back?
I feel like a pile of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Spiny.
Doctor basically says, he's like, we can't give you any more shots. He's like, do you know a good surgeon?
I tried talking you out of those things, man.
I know. I got some relief, though. I got like a good, couple months of not pain-free, but way better than I was.
Yeah, but then it has adverse effects after that. It kind of...
I'm noticing.
It's not good. No. Those shots scare me. I had a shot one time, and it had bacteria in it, and I went blind. I went blind in one eye for 6 months. I think I told you that.
Oh, that's not fun.
No. I think I told you that. I tried to scare you, but...
Yeah, I remember hearing some story, one or another, something like that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I tried to tell you. I don't like those shots.
You did.
But
I'm pretty excited about 420.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been out and about.
I know, man. I'm glad to have to see you because we haven't hung out in over a year. Oh my God.
It's been a while. Well, pandemic life, right?
Yeah, and plus your surgeries. I know you were having your issues, and I had another surgery last year too, and yeah.
It's been. I'll tell you what. It's been an interesting year to say the very least.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? I mean, thank God business is good. We're nice and strong. We're doing better than we ever have, and hopefully expanding in the near future if the government doesn't fuck with vapor too much.
And that's the Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop. There, I love to do that. Can you hear the echo?
So, listen, I don't mean to be rude.
I know you're busy. I know.
I'm busy.
I
Yeah,
know.
I'm
I
sitting
know.
here at
I
the
just.
shop.
I know. I tried to call you back soon as I could, but I'm excited to have you part of the event with Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop.
Yeah, purepuff.com.
I love that. And we'll see you on the 20th, bro.
Yeah, my man. Thanks for calling.
Yes, brother.
Later.
See you. That's Eric from Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop. So cool. Okay, I'm getting texts here. Okay, that's good. People starting crap with me on the internet again. I love that. People just love to start crap with me, saying that I'm an industry shill. I love that. I work for the industry. People, you know what? I turned down the money they gave me. They offered me money, and I turned it down. I said, I don't want your money. So, and that's on public record somewhere. I'm sure we could find it. So, yeah, you believe what you want, man. You all can believe what you want about me. But I know the truth, and a lot of people know the truth. So people just want to slander us as an organization, and I don't like that. So I do have to fight back when it comes to that a little bit. But really, I just try to ignore the haters. It's not worth it. But when you have an organization and people are slandering it, yeah, you got to take some action at some point. So, yeah. And people are just stupid. These are people that never come out to council meetings, never have done anything except try to sell weed or sell something else. And, yeah. But we're the cannabaggers. There's some good stuff happening with the unions. There's good stuff happening in New Jersey. Okay, let me do this here. Okay, let's see if this is... nope. I do have this number. Okay, I do have this number. I wasn't sure, but I do have it. Let me find the picture. Oh, I'm so unprepared. This is not Bob. This is not Bob that I'm calling right now.
Hello?
You're on the air?
Hi.
Hello. Hold on. I'm trying to find your picture. Oh, man. I'm so unprepared. Here it is. There it is. Let's find a place for you. Right about. Let's put you in the corner here. How's that? There we go.
I can't see. No idea.
So how you doing, Jamie?
I'm good. Getting things done for the event. You working on the favor bags. So if you have munchies on Tuesday, we have all the basic munchie groups covered.
You got candy. We have tacos. I think. What else do we need?
There's like crispy, salty snacks. There's fruity, gummy stuff.
Ooh.
There's
Keep going.
lots of stuff.
Keep
Swedish
going.
fish.
Oh.
The big gourmet lollipop. Airheads. I don't know. Cracker Jacks. I don't know. Should be good.
Your candy game is on point.
We'll see. I might even go shopping some more.
I'm excited. We're gonna have a lot of surprises. I have surprises for you guys. We're gonna have gift bags, pot poker. I hear there's gonna be a pot there, and people are gonna play poker with the pot. This is what I'm hearing. This is what's being donated. A big pot, legal pot. I love it. For the pot, a pot for the pot.
Pot of pot.
Yeah.
So, are we going to be following up about Skip?
You want to go back and talk about Skip again? You want to go back?
I think I want to write a letter. I want to call. I want to go back. I want to do a lot of things about Skip.
Where was that? I think it was a 2.
That's terrible. I don't know because I think we did a few that night, and I don't even know what town it was.
Far Hills.
Far
Hills. And here's our friend Skip.
Why?
Can you hear this?
That's going to be at the direction of the mayor.
When does he get time?
Do we have any other questions, Dorothy, from anyone else?
I don't think so. I don't see any more hands
Why does
raised.
Skip get 2 more minutes? He already spoke for 20
Mr.
minutes.
Spencer would be the last one to make a comment this evening about him.
All right, Skip, let's make it
Oh,
quick.
God. Skip, really?
Number
I
one,
need to
I'm
know. I really need to know, like, what exactly is he doing there? He's not counsel. He's given time to speak. He's addressing us as used people. The inappropriate rape comment, and if that wasn't brutal enough, the mayor laughing and agreeing with him. Skip says that it's heartfelt and he's understanding, and then later goes on to say, I was crying about the sick and dying people. Like,
Yeah, the mayor laughed and he agreed.
yeah.
Quite frankly, Mr. King, you can ask each and every one of the council people. I'm not one of the gang.
I'm not one of the gang. I'm not one of the good old boys. Ask the good old boys. Hey, ask them. They're right here.
And only one person looked to have, like, a normal human response. Like, oh my God, what is he saying? He needs to probably shut up.
Yeah, shut him down.
And everyone else kind of just sat there like it was normal.
Oh, let's
like,
just
that's
skip.
what they're used to, and they're completely desensitized to it.
Yeah, that's just Skip being Skip. Here, there's some more Skip. Here's some more ignorance.
Elections have consequences. We elected these people to represent us and to do our bidding, and they do it pretty darn well.
They do?
Now, there are times we don't agree.
We do?
There are times that we argue, and there are times that we get things done based
Here,
on
I think he's using like a lot of manipulative
believe you
speech.
me.
He's not counsel. He's not on there. And when he says we work together and we understand each other, and sometimes he's like manipulating with words his way.
He makes me mad when he says this. He says, believe you me. Believe me you. Believe you. It makes no sense when people say that. Believe you me. That's wait.
We get things done
Wait, listen.
based on differences of opinion, and believe you me.
Believe you me. What does that mean? Believe you
Was
me.
he also the one that wanted the ordinance for us to not be able to speak more than 60 seconds for being out of town?
You out-of-towners get 10 seconds.
I have a lot.
And you see how outraged he is by what you're doing with yourself. You're just correcting his bad grammar, and he's completely outraged that your mouth is moving while he's speaking.
Okay, listen, Lefty. I see you voicing. That's fine.
Believe me, you.
This is too funny.
But the point is,
it's believe me.
It's incredible to me the expectation that people have that they can control what you're doing with yourself.
My God, these people.
He's outraged that your mouth is moving. He wants to control that you get no more than 60 seconds, and he doesn't want your mouth to move while he's speaking. He can't hear you. You're muted.
And to do our bidding, and they do it pretty darn well. Now, there are times we don't agree. There are times that we argue, and there are times that we get things done based on.
Do you see how he's manipulating himself
Yeah.
into the council?
Yes. I've seen this a lot with manipulators.
Of opinion, and believe you me, I have a
No,
lot.
believe me, you. That's
Okay, listen, Lefty. I see you voicing. That's fine.
believe me, you.
But the point is,
It's believe me,
they
you.
do represent us.
Not believe you, me.
We made the decision not to have that by having these people represent us. You people seem to it reminds
You
me
people.
of
You hippies.
you argue that when a woman is raped, well, she really wanted it.
Okay.
And think about it.
Wow.
Think about who was there actually speaking out about anything. So who is he trying to like umbrella statement with you people? Medical patients that are there saying, please don't cut your community off from this, the people that need this. So we're you people.
Squeegee guys.
People seem to it reminds
You
me
people.
of
You hippies.
you argue that when a woman is raped, well, she really wanted it.
That, I don't even understand where that was going. Or what comparison his thought process was trying to.
He lost me there.
And only one person seemed to even have a normal human response, let alone this is completely inappropriate for council response.
People seem to it reminds
You
me
people.
of
You hippies.
you argue that when a woman is raped, well, she really wanted it. Wait a minute. We're saying no, don't you
He's
get
out of
it?
his mind. That's unacceptable.
And the mayor is like, oh, you're 100% right there, Skip.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Schwister, we're going to move on because this is the
Shut it down, Schwister. Shut it down. Wow. What the?
I'm just saying.
What are you talking about?
They don't
I
care.
understand your point, but I just think this is headed
Don't they get it?
It's not
We elected
necessary.
these people.
Yeah, no,
They're doing our bidding.
Skip, you're 100% right, and I have to say the truth. I am very enlightened and happy to hear that you like what we're doing. That's very good. and
He's out of his mind.
Oh, these people. Come on. Yeah.
It wasn't insulting enough that he said that. The mayor needed to laugh and say all of those things in agreement with him.
Oh, Skip, that was a good one this time. Nice
I'm
rape
happy
analogy.
that you embraced. Yeah.
Wow.
So you have these people who are completely ignorant, mind closed, cognitive dissonance, refusing any factual information about cannabis. They want to stay in their ignorance and their racism and whatever, that are not listening to their constituents, that are doing whatever they want out of their own ignorance, while they verbally abuse us, calling them out on it.
Well, I want to thank our sponsors. CMMNJ, UFCW Local 152, Magical Butter, SativaCrust.org, JacksonStorms.com, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop. And we have pictures. This is our list that we do. That's Cheryl. And Cheryl was the first medical patient to inspire me to help other people that are suffering. Because she was amazing. Jim would push her around in a bed, on her deathbed, And she'd be at senators' offices and assembly people's offices and fighting for cannabis patients' rights. And I never knew that cannabis helped multiple sclerosis till I met her. And amazing activist, and I saw that with Jeff also when he was fighting for his life. And we'll get to Jeff in a minute, but this is Cheryl, and she started it all here in New Jersey. And if you don't know, you better learn today. Sabina Rose, Diane, Marie, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad. This is Jeremy, Joanne's husband. Troy. Russ. Roger, Barbara and his family. Jay Oleto. Ella. Hattie. Jake. Armando. Lynn. Sean. Joyce. Brian. Thorne. Terry. Charlotte. Cher. Jaybird. Michael. Marley. And Jeff. I think we should start 420 with the moment of silence. I think we should start 420 with the list. Because it's 420, it's a celebration. I don't know if we can end a party with the list. So I think we should dedicate this 420 party.
That sounds like a good thought.
So I'm going to dedicate this 420 party to Jeff and everybody on this list. And that's how we're going to start it. So we're going to read the list. Here. This is what we're going to do. Let's see if I should have had this set up ahead of time. Hello. So it'll be like this. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye. Steady in the glow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old.
as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Happy 420!